Hello, Auntie Lindsay here. So I got a text message today from a guy I met in Boston. Mind you, we only been on one date. It was a coffee date. That was it. He wrote, "What are you wearing?" I wrote back, I'm more interesting than this attitude today." He wrote back, "It was just a silly joke." I wrote back, "Have you figured out by now that I'm a bit narrow spicy and suck at small talk?" He wrote back, "Yes." That was it. Now, I know I haven't picked the best men to date because I've been going through my own healing process. I haven't been emotionally available, so the men that I've dated have also not been emotionally available. They lack the ability to have any sort of deep conversations. They're surface level men. There's a lot of them out there. Go on the dating apps. Most of them are surface level men. They don't really want to get to know you. They want to get to know what's in your pants. That's about it. And hey, we all like to have a good time. Like sex, whatever. But have you ever had sex with someone and then you start to get to know them and you're like, ooh, yeah. Well, that just reminded me of so many things. As I'm going through this process, I'm like, am I ready to date yet? Am I ready to have a real relationship, an emotionally, intellectually, witty type of passionate relationship? Is there someone up for the gig? We'll see. But I have got myself into many real dating situationships where I should have listened to my first instinct, always. Like one from last year who turned out to be a narcissist with a savior complex. That was a new one for me. He was also on the spectrum, so I'll give him some grace. But he had a lot of childhood trauma he hadn't quite dealt with yet. There are acorns falling from the trees. I'm outside. Anyways, we met on a dating app. We talked for like a month and a half before we actually met. I was like, finally, a guy that actually wants to get to know me on a deeper level, not just a surface level. Should have known better. We exchanged thoughts, ideas, our love for art and music. Could have been great. Wonderful. And then we finally met. My first instinct was, ugh. It wasn't about the way he looked or anything like that. It was what I saw. I can read body language. I can look in someone's eyes and be like, okay. But I was gaslighting myself. I was like, come on, don't be so judgmental. Just go with the flow. You're here for a short time anyways, because I think I was in Florida. Don't be so judgmental. Give a guy a chance. He spent all this time getting to know you. Well, I realized quickly that he had to control every situation. He had to explain everything in great detail, even down to the meal, what was prepared in the meal, over explaining everything. Also giving non-stop unsolicited advice, where I noticed that when we were chatting before we met, I had told him a couple times, I didn't ask for your advice. We're just sharing stories and stuff. Please don't give me unsolicited advice. That's not what I'm asking for. Because I'm very independent. I'm a very free spirit. I was raised with a single mom who was a teenager when she had me. I'm the oldest. I have 3 younger brothers, also now a sister. But I had to learn very early how to take care of myself because no one else was going to do it. So for someone to continue to give me unsolicited advice when I kindly asked them not to is like nails on a chalkboard. Also, for someone to be very controlling and control every situation so they could be the hero in every situation was also very irritating. And I tried to give him a chance. We had a nice weekend. Well, we had a nice day, I should say. Started off nice, canoeing on a beautiful river, looking for manatees, but he had to instruct how to row the canoe, every turn, everything, over instruct everything. It got to a point where I was just gripping that oar in my face. Good thing I was sitting in front, because my face was like, I'm going to take this oar. Finally, I said, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I've been canoeing, kayaking, river rafting, long time. I was a Girl Scout. I think I know how to row. Trust me. And there was some other incidences. He got his shoes wet that day, and the next day we were supposed to check out. He threw a fit because his shoes were wet, because he didn't dry them the day before. Somehow that was my fault. We were supposed to wait. No. Nothing like a grown man throwing a temper tantrum. Anyways, he was an artist. I love artists, but he was an American who found his success in another country. He wanted to break into the American market, and he wanted me to help him. He thought I could just help him sell some of his paintings that went for like $50,000 and up in other countries. And he wanted me, was like, this person? Do you know this person? Do you have a person like this that can buy my art? And finally I said, I think we should just keep this on a personal level, not mix business with pleasure. I don't want to get involved with your business. That's your art. That's how you make a living. I don't want to get involved. And I said it in a very nice way. And he turned. Suddenly, I wasn't this beautiful, wonderful, intelligent, witty woman that he liked. I was a terrible person. And he sent me a long list of all the things wrong with me, which was, I wish I would have kept it, because I was kind of laughing at it. But all I responded back was, it sounds like a lot of projection. I think this is done, and just blocked him, because I don't have time for that. I stated what I thought. I thought it was the right thing to do, not mixing business with pleasure. He flipped. Like narcissists do. They learn everything about you and then they flip it on you. Hold everything against you that you ever told them. I would never respond the same way. That pisses them off. I learned that from my mother. She would yell and scream and hit, and I would just sit there watching, waiting. She would scream at me. It's like talking to a wall. Sorry, I'm not going to react in the same way. It's all part of healing. We invite people in our lives that probably shouldn't be in our lives, but they are there to teach us lessons. Am I ready to date? We'll see. We'll see if someone's up for the challenge.